Sandhan. All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Hello, all my dear friends from English fraternity and all dear students from different colleges. Now, once again, we meet with a new topic, and today we are supposed to look into the topic which is literary features of Puritan age. Now, for this, we again refer back to the history of English literature, and its first age starts with the age of Shakespeare, which happens to run between 1556 to 1625. When we move after that, we reach to the second age, which is the age of Milton, and which is said to run between 1625 and 1660. Now, this age of Milton is also known as the Puritan age, and in this lecture, we'll have a look at the literary features of this remarkable and extraordinary age of English literature. Now, friends, first we'll see this age under the background of Elizabethan age, because when the first age starts, it was age of drama. Shakespeare's age was an age of drama. It was an age of poetry, and of course, it was an age of gaiety and pleasure. So, there was a new reform in English literature, and this reform came after Shakespeare had given English language and of course English literature a shape. Before that, it was divided into many dialects. So Shakespeare's age saw many great literatures, but after that, when we enter the age of Milton, so there appears a sharp contrast in this age, and let's have a look that what were the main differences between these two ages. So, on the prima facie, when we have a glance at this age, so we come on to this conclusion that Elizabethan age, it was of course a diversified age, and it had a lot of diversity, and it had a marked unity of spirit. Now, what I mean to say by this phrase, that it resulted from the nobility of all classes, and since his age is also known as the age of Queen Elizabeth, so at that time when Shakespeare was writing, it was the age of Queen Elizabeth, and she was a reformist queen who had brought many changes in the ruling of her country, and England had started emerging as a great navy power and of course a great power in her age. So when her son came to the throne, and afterwards, in this trend, Charles II, he got this throne and he became the king or the emperor. Now, the age of Milton, it witnessed a lot of political instability also, because the king was not very politically correct, and the poets like Milton and other revolutionaries, they took the side of revolutionary Cromwell, and they supported Cromwell against the then king. And as a result of this, the King Charles was dethroned, and Cromwell, he came to the power of the great England. Now with this reformation or revolution, a new era started in the history of England, and the poets like Milton, who were called the Puritan poets, and who of course forced purity in real life, because they disliked all those light and frivolous things which were going on in the name of ruling, and therefore they fought combinedly against this king, and they succeeded. Now this rule did not prolong for a long time, and in the meantime Charles II again returned back with the help of his followers, his friends, and the ensuing age, the age after Milton, or in other words we call it the age of Dryden. It is also known as the Restoration Age. So between these two ages, that means the Elizabethan age and the Restoration Age, we have this age, and this is Puritan age. So Puritan age, or the age of Milton, it was not that kind of happy-go-lucky, or it was not a diverse age, because it was restricted to some movements only. Secondly, the Stuart kings, they were ruling, and all this had changed. And as we have told, the kings became the open enemies of the people, and the poets like Milton, they took the side of people, and a great political and religious struggle, it was the hallmark of this age. Now as a result of this, when we look at this age, so we can easily see that this age was divided in the spirit, because Milton, who was considered as the representative poet of this age, he openly supported the revolutionary, and when this revolutionary Cromwell was thrown away, Milton also had to suffer a lot, but they did it in the name of people's interest. Now when we move ahead, we see that one more prominent characteristic which separates Elizabethan literature from the age of Milton is that Elizabethan literature is normally or generally it's inspiring, because we had a series of poets and dramatists and even prose writers who took initiative in representing the true emotions of the public. And this age, since a new era started in English literature, so this age, it throbs with youth, hope and vitality. Truly speaking, this was a colorful age, and it was certainly different from the age of Milton, because Milton's age was full of sadness, because Milton's poetry, though it's a great poetry, and we all of us know that he composed the only epic of English literature, Paradise Lost, and after that, Paradise Regained. And this Paradise Lost, it is considered as the only epic of English literature. But his poetry is full of pathos, and in fact, it's a sad poetry. And even the brightest phrases of Milton's poetry, they are followed by gloom and pessimism. So in that sense, it was not an optimistic poetry, but it was some kind of pessimistic poetry. Now, when we move on, we again see that this Elizabethan poetry or the age of Shakespeare was intensely romantic. By romantic, we mean to say that it springs from the heart of youth. And when we look at the sonnets and the plays by Shakespeare, by Bay Johnson, or even by this many other contemporary poets and writers of this age, so this was the poetry of youth. It sprang from the heart of youth. But when we compare it with the poetry of Milton, we at once come to know this fact that in the poetry of Puritan age, so there seems to be an utter absence of romantic ardor. So this romantic ardor, which is the hallmark of Shakespeare's poetry, it is totally absent in the poetry of Milton. And here, of course, it is some kind of sad poetry. And when we look at the lyrics and poems of this age, now they are heavy with critical and intellectual spirit. So the life in that sense, had become quite serious. And what we observe during this age, that this high seriousness or this high seriousness of life, or the conflict, or the revolutionary fervor of this is also reflected in the poetry of this age. Now moving ahead, we again notice a very important feature of this literature, that this literature of 17th century, or in other words, the age of Milton, it is marked with a note of melancholy. So there is a kind of melancholy, and this melancholy makes the poet's heart, it reflects poet's sad heart. And of course, there is also a kind of spiritual uncertainty, because the tribulations and trials of the age and this revolution, this political strife which ensued, it certainly led to spiritual uncertainty. So for this reason, Milton had to compose a great work of English literature, and of course the only epic, Paradise Lost, to restore faith, because in that age faith seems to have been shaken. And the poetry of Shakespearean age, which was full of buoyancy and optimism, now it is totally, this age of Milton is totally lacking in this kind of spirit. And it is a very sad kind of poetry which has got melancholy overtones and undertones. Now we had a look at these features. So this age naturally had Milton as the representative poet of this age. But only Milton was not writing at that time. Milton, who was born in 1608, he was the prominent, or of course the most senior poet of this age. But when we see further, we at once come to know that in this age, there seems to be a marked decline in literary production, because when we see this line under the background of its previous age, that means the age of Shakespeare, we at once appreciate the importance of this line, because Shakespeare alone, he composed nearly 37 plays and more than 150 sonnets, and along with him so many other writers, they were also writing and composing different plays. It was truly the age of comedy, the age of tragedy and whatnot. But here when we see this age, that means the age of Milton, not much was written, and there is a marked decline in literary production. And this deterioration, when we see, it was, why this deterioration is there? It was mostly due to the influence of Puritanism, because the hallmark of this age was Puritanism. So under this effect, naturally this poetry of, or generally not only poetry but the literature output of this age is quite low. Now, how this decline occurs, let's see. So first let's see the position of poetry, because the